Hello and welcome to another Dark Tide video. Today we're showing you my best Ogryn build. Now this build probably has the lowest skill floor, but the highest skill ceiling. So this isn't a very beginner friendly build, but it is very helpful to the team, and its damage output is good, which is hard to say for Ogryn, and its survivability is good as well, which is all the things that Ogryn really needs. And I think we should get right into it. So for our melee, the shield is probably your best option. A close second would be the pickaxe, but the shield has something the pickaxe doesn't have, and that's the ability to block all range attacks from the front, which is invaluable when you are basically a 10-foot tall target, right? And you want to be able to get up close into melee because your ranged options aren't very good. Now for this stats, you want to dump defenses because you don't want to mess with the damage output of this weapon. You're going to be using it for basically everything except for bulwarks and reapers, and I'll show you in a minute why. But you want to have flak armored because that's most enemies. Carapace because it really will help you with crushers because you're going to be using this with crushers as well. Skull crusher because you just need more damage with this, but it also works well with thunder strike, which increases your impact, which obviously increases your stagger, which will help your skull crusher, and it's probably the most important blessing to have is skull crusher. For the ranged weapon, it's obviously the rumbler. The rumbler has something that all the other ranged weapons don't have, similar to the shield, and that's basically a grenade on demand. You need it to knock a dog off you because you're about to be pounced and you don't have stamina to dodge. You shoot it at your feet, and it gives you that breathing space. If you have a bunch of enemies near you and you need them to back off a little bit, shoot it at your feet and it knocks everything down. And its ability to one-shot reapers and two-shot bulwarks is really nice. That's also why I'm choosing to dump blast radius, because you're mostly going to be using it on single targets. Well, it also works with large, like an area. You're mostly going to be using your shield to create space, but the rumbler is obviously good at your last resort, and you really need like space now. For perks, you're going to want to use unyielding and reload speed just for the DPS for bosses and to one-shot reapers more consistently in higher havoc like difficulties. And for blessings, you want adhesive charges. This helps with like monstrosities, like bosses, and also to one-shot through the bulwark's shield, so you can open them up for another follow-up shot that'll kill it. And shrapnel bleed specifically for bosses as well, and having those stacks up just gives you extra DPS, where usually Ogryn doesn't have very many boss damage options aside from pickaxe. Now for your Curios, you're gonna want all the same. This is a theme in my build, well, toughness for all three, combat ability regen, more toughness, and gunners. Obviously, gunners are just like the bane of your existence. Even when like you're not blocking, or when you are blocking, they can shoot you in the back, and it's just really annoying. But having all three gunner Curios really gives you more survivability. Now for the talents, you're gonna obviously see heavyweight for the more damage, best defense, and smash them for more toughness. Now, I chose rock because it's good for mutants and when there are far away enemies that you need to get that your team just can't get for you. But if you are more team reliant, I wouldn't blame you for having bigger box of hurt. But I want to be self-sufficient and not too reliant on the team. Even though Ogryn is a class that really, really, really relies on the team for like ranged enemies specifically. Then you're going to come down to payback time for the damage, soften them up for more damage, and focused fighter for damage resistance. Then you're going to come down and get damage reduction. Obviously, loyal protector. It's probably Ogryn's best ability. And then you're coming down here to no pain and go again. And I like it over valuable distraction. Oh my god. Because you just get it back so much faster when you're staggering enemies. And then you come down to slam, not necessarily because you need the impact and stamina for blocking, but because it gets you to ammo stash, which I think is very important, since the Rumbler doesn't have too much reserve ammo. Then you want to come over here, get the rending, beat them back for more melee damage, because you're mostly going to be using heavy attacks with this. Strike true and batter is very important, gives you 4 stacks of bleed on your attacks, which helps with horde clearing. Bone breaker, because it's just the best attack damage. You always need more. Then you come through here and grab Bruiser, just ability regen to get this Loyal Protector off really fast. And Loyal Protector gives you so much toughness that you become basically invincible while you're close to other enemies, which is very, very, very helpful. Attention Seeker. This is a little bit niche, but if you're trying to get an enemy off of your teammate, you can just push them and they'll target you. And since you have a big ass shield, you're going to be able to most likely deal with its attacks. And also, no pushover is very helpful. You might think, oh, just 250 stagger, why would you want that? But if a crusher's overheading you and you just push, it'll knock them from their overhead. Depending on the havoc, and higher havocs, it doesn't work as consistently, but you can do it for crushers, I think. Or, yeah, maulers, I mean. No hurting friends. You're gonna be hit all the time. So you're gonna get this a bunch, and hard knocks. It's just the more stagger you have, the more damage you do, which is like a miniature version of Skull Crusher or whatever on the blessing on the shield. And feel no pain. You're blessed with 10 stat. You get a bunch of damage reduction and toughness replenishment, and pained outburst. This is very helpful when a dog gets you. Like if all else fails and a dog grabs you, it pushes it off for you. And also, when you get hit a bunch, it replenishes 50% toughness, which is also very useful. Now, I'm going to show you a couple things you need to know to use this build effectively. The main thing is for crushers, and basically all enemies, even like bosses and like melee people, you're gonna want to attack and then attack and block to do this chain push. Basically, it's like a thrust attack, and the shield is so big it hits multiple enemies, so you can deal with hordes and deal with single targets effectively. And again, you want to charge up your heavy attack and then block immediately after. If you don't do it right, this is why I'm saying it's a very high skill ceiling class, because you need to be able to chain these back to back. You'll get used to it after a while, and you'll be able to kill basically everything relatively easily. Now, another thing with the boss, sorry, my dog, is with the rock, you're able to stagger bosses every single time with the rock. So if you need you know, if it's about to slam onto your teammate and you want to stop that from happening, just use the rock. Pretty obvious. And that's why this build is probably your best bet for Ogryn. He's a very underpowered class in its current state, but I think this is the most valuable way to build him. And thank you for watching. Have a nice one.